All right, welcome back to WMAC now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you tonight with a special fight preview. We're going to Bellator number 255, Pitbull versus Sanchez 2. We're going to the main card in the Flyweight division. Kana Watanabe coming in at 9-0-1, taking on Alejandra Lara coming in at 9-3. Now Watanabe, this makes this fight interesting. Watanabe, she took a fight with Bellator a little over a year ago when they went to Japan, and at the time that was meant to be like a one-off fight because she was still signed with Rizin, but now she is fully signed with Bellator, making her like full-fledged Bellator debut, and she is making it against a very tough opponent, a very experienced fighter as well in Alejandra Lara, who is always in exciting fights. Let's go ahead and break it down, take a look at the stats here. Got Watanabe coming in 9-0-1. Lara coming in at 9-3. Now Watanabe, she's riding a nice win. Well, honestly, she's undefeated. Most recently, she defeated Ilara Joanny at that Bellator Japan show a little over a year ago. Preceded that with a submission win about a year and a half ago. Lara, on the other hand, is riding 2 wins coming in this fight. First, over TKO over Taylor Turner, and then winning a unanimous decision over Vida Ortega about a week before Watanabe fought for Bellator in Japan. Watanabe's the elder fighter, 32 years to 26. Now, I thought Watanabe would be the taller fighter. However, it looks like Lara is the taller fighter. 5'7", 169 centimeters to 5'6", 167 centimeters for Watanabe. Lara has a nice reach advantage as well, 69 inches, 175 centimeters to Watanabe's 66 inches, 168 centimeters. So those are your stats. So let's talk about Kana Watanabe for a little bit. Now, first thing you see when you look at her is, wow, she is ripped. She is very muscly, but those aren't all aesthetics. She is very strong. You know, there's the video making its rounds lately again is when she weighed in at a Rizin show a few years ago. She took a frying pan and, bent it with her hands, just folded it basically. She's got phenomenal grip from years of judo training, and she's just overall very strong. So those muscles, they're not just aesthetics. And she has some pop in her punches as well. She dropped experienced veteran Shizuka Sugiyama with one punch when they rematched each other in Rizin, and basically, she had her kind of out, and so she definitely has some pop in her punches. One drawback though is that Watanabe, she's very hittable. I mean, very hittable. She just constantly leaves her head on the center line. So while she has some pop in her punches, she tends to take some as well. Now, how Watanabe likes to fight is she likes to get in close for her takedowns. She's a judo stylist, so she likes throws, she likes trips. She's not, afraid to go down below for like a double leg or single leg, but she likes to get in close and go for the trips and the throws. After all, she's a judoka. And one final thing I've noticed about Watanabe is that she comes on stronger as the fight goes on. Watching some of her longer fights where she's gone to decision, she starts off kind of weak. She might get tagged a few times, but as the fight goes on, that's when she starts getting stronger and she starts implementing her game plan more. So that's Kana Watanabe. Let's talk about Alejandra Lara. So one thing that you notice about Alejandra Lara is that her striking has more dimensions to it. She's experienced with throwing elbows, whether standing or on the ground. She's not afraid to throw kicks. She's not afraid to get fancy and throw some spinning stuff in there either. So unlike her opponent, who primarily sticks to a boxing style, Lara is much more of a kickboxing style, but also isn't afraid to throw elbows. Now that long reach of Lara really benefits her outside style of striking. Now, she can fight in the clinch, and she can fight in the pocket, but she does her best. She throws her strongest, her best strikes when she's using that reach and staying on the outside. And with Lara, she's a lot like Watanabe. She's you know, equally willing to fight both on the feet or take it to the ground. She is no slouch on the ground at all. She's slick. She's very good at fighting off submissions if she gets in danger, and she's not afraid to either fight off of her back or, you know, fight from on top. So she's more than willing to go wherever this fight is going to take her. Now, sometimes that gets her into a bit of trouble. I've noticed that she sometimes, you know, tends to let the fight get away from her. You know, she gets drawn into brawls. Sometimes she gets drawn into just really scrambly ground fights that don't always go her way. So she's going to have to be very careful to fight her fight against Kana Watanabe. She can't let it get away from her, because that's when Watanabe will be able to get in close and get it down to the ground and get on top where she wants to be. Now, as for the fight, you know, Alejandra Lara, she should stay on the outside. You know, use that length, use that reach to her advantage where her striking works best, and avoid Watanabe's grip. Because like I said, Watanabe, she gets a hold of you, she's going to hold on to you. Now, Watanabe, on the other hand, she is going to want to get inside. She needs to get inside, work for that clinch, and want to get it to the ground. And that's basically what her striking style does as well. She boxes enough to get into the clinch, and she's going to want to work for that clinch and then get it to the ground. Now, if she gets taken down, what Alejandra Lara should work to do is not fight the takedown, but rather roll with Watanabe's takedowns. When Watanabe, particularly on her throws, she sometimes overdoes it and loses a little bit of control. And if Lara is smart, she rolls with it. You know, Watanabe will be open to reversals and sweeps from there. So if Lara gets taken down, don't, you know, fight it too much. You know, roll with it, go with it, try to use it for a reversal or a sweep. Now, for Watanabe, she needs to be prepared for that variety of strikes that's going to come from Lara. And she needs to be able to be ready to, you know, eat some of those strikes to get inside as well. Because her overall striking game, her boxing's okay, but I would say it's not so up to snuff that she's going to be able to just fight on the outside with Alejandra Lara. So she's going to need to be prepared for that variety of strikes, be on the lookout for them, and she's also going to have to, you know, be willing and ready to eat a few to get to where she needs to be. Now, as far as my pick goes, you know, I thought about it and really can't go wrong with either fighter here, but I'm going to go with Alejandra Lara. You know, she has more high-level experience. She's been in there with some of the best in this Bellator flyweight division. I mean, she's been in there with the former champ Ilima McFarlane. She's been in there with the current champ, Juliana Velasquez. You know, she's been in there with a lot of higher-level fighters, whereas Watanabe mostly hasn't been. You look at her record, and, you know, she's not getting a whole lot of good experience and opponents over there in Japan, in Asia, where there just aren't that many, you know, flyweight fighters. I mean, she has like 3 fights in a row where she fought 2 debutantes and a fighter with only 1 fight experience. And her overall record just isn't nearly as strong as Alejandra Lara. Now, that's not to say that she can't beat Lara, but I trust fighters that have that overall higher level experience, particularly when they have a suitable style to beat someone as well. So that's why I'm going to go with Alejandra Lara. Okay, so those are my thoughts on this Bellator 255 main card flyweight matchup. Now, like I said, you can't go wrong either way picking this fight. And honestly, no matter who wins, because this division is now completely wide open with, you know, the dethroning of former champ Ilima McFarlane, either fighter getting a win here is really good for the division. Either one could really move up and slot themselves right into the title picture. Now, I haven't looked up the current rankings yet. Bellator did bring them up. I didn't look them up before this video, but either one of them, no matter who wins, is going to have a nice spot there in those new Bellator flyweight rankings to get into that title picture. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on the upcoming fight in the comments down below. Now, if you liked the video, please like it, share it as well. And when you subscribe, remember to hit that bell for notifications. And if you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.